Home on the range. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. October the 19th, 2015. Time to wrap up our trading day. In the macro sense, we came in today wanting to sell 24s to 26s. That was our sell. And we had a 13 to 15 buy. And then basically against the buck. And we were leaning against support from Friday, that last rotate down. And the overnight session high was 28. So this high was 24. This was 1450. Pretty tight day. And the only trades that really work for us, V tops, V bottoms, this congestion area right here, a couple of scratches. We did get software generated trade to work out there. This one would have worked if you'd stay with a long time. Another V top, V bottom, retest failure. A couple of software generated trades that worked. V bottom right here. More chop, and then this B is working so far. So the trades that are really working for us are the trades where the market comes to you on a 5 to a 6 point rotation, and you take the trades. What has served us well since 2007, all markets changes, and we're giving up too much trade location. We're not generating follow through buying or selling. So here's a blue on blue trade that worked. There really isn't a red on red trade right here. Here's a red on red trade that worked. Here's a blue on blue trade that worked on the 10-minute charts. No red on red trade really here because the market was coming up, but this is a possibility, and that would have been a loser. Here's a red on red trade right here that would have been a winner. And our blue on blue trade, it's right in here. And that trade takes a long time to develop. So one loser out of 4 or 5 trades. And the 10-minute chart is where the answer is right now. It is not on a 3-minute chart because of the lack of follow through. So markets do change. You have to come in and you have to reflect that in your trading. It takes a little while to get a handle on it, but once you do, then you can get back to trading the market. So here we are on the E-mini right here. We got a higher low and a higher high, and really as long as we stay above this 1985 area, kind of breakout right in here. That last rotate down, this market can trade higher, and the attractors up here really at 2100, 2095. This area up here. Gonna 2030, 2045 is our next resistance area. If we can't take out and hold 2050, then I think that sets us up for a retest lower. But this F1 screen says find a place to buy it if we were to close right here. Looking at the F2 screen, you can see how the market is maintaining its gains. And if we fold this period in right here, we're dealing with a P. I've seen stronger Ps. We've got volume below time right here. That's important. That's significant. But if we were to close right here, we'd be selling 26 to 28 would be sell 1. Take that out, we're probably headed up to 35, so then we'd be trying to sell 34s to 36s for sell 2. On the buy side, the last rotate down stopped at 18. We're at 23 right now, so a 17 to 18 buy. And then we're back to our 10 to 13 buy for buy 2. Some news tomorrow. Housing starts 1.147, and this number could come in lower than forecast. Sometimes in the fall it gets skewed to the upside, so they can go dig holes, put foundations, basements in, so they can get some draws to get them through the winter. And then permits at 1.17, and that'll be scrutinized single family or multifamily. And of late, it's for the most part been multifamily, which is what you'd expect right now. Okay, the biggest factor driving the financials right now is the direction of the E-mini. Flight to quality, and I don't even know, flight to quality, if that even counts anymore, the way the markets trade these days. Just E-mini higher, sell treasuries, E-mini lower, buy treasuries. Lower high, lower low for the 10-year, find a place to sell it. That's what this screen tells you. Looking at our F2 screen. It's a P, put in backwards. Very weak P. If we put all this together, you can see that volume is well below time. So selling failure to take out 29, I think, is what the trade is here. So 31 to 03, sell 1. And then 7 to 11, sell 2. On the buy side, 21 to 25. And then 13 to 17 for buy 2. Op spread strengthened a little bit into today's close. It picked up from its low point. And again, most of that is, what is the E-mini doing? And that was really a good indicator for this morning, because when the S&P looked like it might break, the financials were still selling. So if we do, let me get everything rearranged and put back together. It's a P put in backwards. We rejected on the B period. That's when the E-mini opened. So right now, the last rotation up stopped at 15. We're currently at 9. So sell 15s to 19s, sell 1. And 27 to 31, sell 2. On the buy side, last rotate down stopped at 58. Last trade's 09. I'm going to make it 29 to 01, buy 1. And then that back to our 17 to 21, which is our second buy area today. Okay, gold was off about 10 bucks today. Had some nice moves intraday. You can see a lower high, lower low right here. Look for a place to sell it. And again, the market can move lower, but I don't think the bottom falls out of it because of all the political instability around the world and all the issues about money. So we'll put our buy number 1. I think we're going to go a little bit lower, this 66.64. Then 61.59 for buy 2. On the sell side, 70, 73, 75. Pick up that K period. And then 78 to 80 for sell 2. Looking at crude, down pretty, I think it was off over $1 today. Opened high, came down, finished on the lows, so that looks about right. And looking at the F2 screen, but if we don't break it, it can rally back pretty quickly. That's the situation we find ourselves in. So I think we're headed a little lower, so 46, 45, 75 buy 1. I think the trading target is 45 even, so 45 1/4, 45 even buy 2. Haven't seen anything on the campaign to recapture Aleppo in Syria. So I wouldn't bet against Russia, Iran, and the Hezbollah of Lebanon. And then 40, if we get through 47, we're probably headed to 47.50, so 47.50, 47.75, sell 2. Again, the war in Syria, I don't think has anybody too upset about what's going on. If it does become a factor in the Middle East petroleum production, it's not production, it'd be transportation. It takes a long time to build pipelines, and they're real easy to take out, and nobody except a state would come in and build a pipeline in Syria with all the fighting that's going on. So I think as far as the supply of crude and the rest of it go, Syria's on the sidelines. Nobody thinks much will come of it. Okay, Draghi speaks, the European Central Bank, on Thursday. Nobody expects any outright changes in their policy, but if they cut their interest rates further, which is really hard to do because they're right at zero, negative rates for some things, I mean, how low can you go? And they've already sped up, like we talked about earlier, their QE2. I think Draghi picks up the mic and says, steady as she go. We put policies and action in place right now that are going to solve our problems, and if it doesn't, we're going to do more. So lower high, lower low, look for a place to sell it. How does Europe pay for this? Like every other central bank around the world, they print money. And as long as everybody is printing money, it works. But when somebody decides to no longer print money, then the house of cards comes tumbling down. Okay, didn't break the 113 area today, so I'll have 113 even, 113.15 buy 1, then 12.75 buy 2. I think we're headed to 112 because that's $3 off the recent high at 115. And then 13.50 where we were today, sell 1 plus or minus 5, and then 75 for sell 2. And that's it for October the 19th, 2015. I will see you all bright and early in the morning.